3/5. That's all we were counted for. We were voiceless. But then,
time for you and me to fight for ourselves.
I'm here to say never again.
We stood up,
For freedom and human dignity.
sat down, spoke up.
Pave a road that will last forever.
We were heard. We mattered. We were counted.
As the Air Force
We were
scoured the
counted
skies,
on. And proved to the world we should never be counted out. We are stronger than we have ever been before. But we are not done. Which is why we need to be counted in the 2020 census. So get up, stand up, rise up, turn up, show up. Make it count to harness more money and power back into our community. Make it count for more money for healthcare, roads, and disaster relief. Make it count for our kids and the generations behind us. Raise your hand, raise your voice. Get counted and make sure your family and friends are too, because we're all counting on you.
Good evening. Welcome to our last town hall before the September 30th deadline of the census. My name is Nicole Rogers. I'll be your host tonight. I'm one of the co-chairs of the African American Complete Count Committee, and I am so excited to be with you tonight to close out the census. Tonight is a call for action. So we're going to be talking a lot about how you watching tonight can get involved to make sure New Mexico counts. So we're going to start off like we start off every program with our response rates. So I want to give an update on where we are currently with our response rates. So we're going to go over to Google and we're just going to type in census response rates. I look at it a lot, so it's saved on mine. And we're going to go scroll down to, we're always going to look for a .gov website. So 2020census.gov response rates would be the correct one to go into. We're going to click there. And here we're going to find all the different response rates. Now, there's something different about this setup than what we looked at last month. This month, they're highlighting the top 5 states that are close to 100%. Places like Idaho, West Virginia, Washington, Kansas, and Oregon are our top 5 states. What they're also doing now is they're actually showing the non-response follow-up completion rates for each state. So you're going to be able to see how many people in New Mexico responded via via online or over the phone or the mail-in questionnaire. But we're also able to see our enumerators that are going out and actually counting folks in the census. We're able to see where they're at with that count as well. So we're going to click right here and look at the total response rates by the state. Scroll down, it gives you a list in alphabetical order by each state. We're going to scroll down to New Mexico. If you click on New Mexico, a little box will pop up and you'll see click to view 2020 census self-response rates. So you will log in there. It'll take a little bit to load that information and you'll see our state map. So right now, New Mexico is sitting at a self-response rate of 56%. So what that means is 56% of our households went online, called in, or sent in their mail-in questionnaire and responded all on their own. So 56% of people in New Mexico were highly engaged and did that themselves. Then if we scroll down, there you can see the legend for our map. And so it's color coded. At the bottom is your legend that shows all the different percentages for your response rates. So if we look at the dark blue there, that's Los Alamos County. They're at 82.8% total response rate, which is up from the 2010 census where they were at 77.5%. But again, that makes perfect sense, right? There's Los Alamos National Labs, highly educated, highly engaged in politics. They understand the importance of the census. So that's not surprising. But if we look over here at Catron County, Catron County is sitting at about a 19% response rate. 2010 response rate for Catron County was 22.5%. So we have some work to do. If you live in Catron County, we need your help tonight. And we're going to talk about how you can help us. Rio Arriba County, 28.1%. If you click on the actual county, you can see, it brings up the county and you can actually see the differences. If you scroll down, it'll show you what the total response rate is and what the internet response rate is. So the difference between 16% and 28% is enumerators who are going out and actually completing the census, knocking on doors, telling people all about the census. So we're going to talk about those lovely angels that are out knocking on doors right now. We're going to talk about them a little bit later. But again, your response rates, you can keep an eye on this yourself. Look at your areas. You can look at your cities. You can look at congressional districts. If we look at Deb Holland's Congressional District 1, Deb Holland was our first guest for our very, very first town hall back in May. Her district is doing the best out of all of the districts. So, and it makes sense. She's highly engaged. She's making robocalls for us. She's doing live calls, videos, so many things to engage her constituents in the census. And so, again, if you look at New Mexico as a whole, you see internet responses, 57.1% internet response and 68.7% total. And again, we're trying to get to 100%. We only have 28 days, people, 28 days to count the rest of our households. So we need your help. This is a call to action. We need you to not just watch anymore. We need you to get up, start talking to people about it, and get engaged. And we're going to talk about exactly how you can do that. All right. So I'm going to stop my share there, and we're going to go into talking about our faith-based communities. We're going to show a video from the census about how a strategy to get all of the faith-based organizations to get together and to make sure that they're counting. So we're going to talk about the census video. We're going to look at that, and then we're going to come back and talk about what's happening in our faith-based communities here in New Mexico.
Every 10 years, a census is taken in the United States of the people and the populations who reside here, and we can help.
The 2020 census is important because it's about more than just counting bodies. The census is important because the numbers that are tallied in that census impact every phase of American life.
Faith leaders are trusted voices in the communities, so it's essential that they speak to their congregations and encourage them to be counted in part of this 2020 census. It's essential because we also serve many of those people that benefit from the federal funds that will come from the data collected from the census.
It affects their children's schooling. It affects social service agencies and programs within their community. It affects libraries getting funding. It affects really all of our lives, and if we can't have our trusted sources like our faith communities, like our houses of worship, they have to be the ones preaching this message.
I think it's important for faith communities to be involved because in many ways, one of the voices of faith leaders and the faith community as a whole is really trying to connect the past to the present to the future.
Community events are really helpful for helping faith leaders understand and start to have the language to be able to express why the census is important with a spiritual lens. It helps get faith leaders involved and activated. We have a faith leader pledge, so we're asking faith leaders to first get educated about the census, know what's involved, know the key details, the timing, making sure and working towards your congregation being counted.
So in a very practical way, faith leaders can preach on the census, right? They can include census facts in their sermons. They can talk about the census in their announcements, put an insert from the Census Bureau in their weekly bulletins. They can host a Census 2020 event in their congregation.
As a leader in my community, I will encourage my congregants and those that I'm in touch with to take part of the census and because it matters, and because each one of them matter, and each person matters.
This is really about districting, representation in Congress, and it's also about the allocation of government resources. If we're not counted numerically, then those resources are not going to be allocated to our community.
Well, it's important for faith leaders like myself to be involved in the 2020 census, and the Hispanic community looks to its leaders to be trusted voices. And if we say this is something that is safe and secure, is going to make a difference in our lives, they will participate.
The census is safe, secure, and confidential. The information cannot be used against someone. It's to benefit our communities.
Let them know how important census.
Step forward and make sure that you are counted, because you do count.
If you are a faith leader, it is so important that you first recognize the importance of the 2020 census, how it is directly connected to improving the quality of life of those in your community for the next 10 years. It is time to get aware. It is time to move our communities forward. It is time to complete the census.
Shape your future.
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 All right. That is a great representation of how influential our faith-based communities can be. And the next video we're going to go to is going to be some folks here in town that are doing amazing things for the census. We have Pastor Bishop Cooper from New Hope. They've been doing food distribution. They have distributed over 100,000 pounds of food with census information in the packets so that people there that are waiting for their food boxes are getting educated about the census. They've even had 50 people stop and complete the census right there live while they're getting their food boxes. So it's a great demonstration of what we can do to share the information about the census. They're also doing Census Sundays, and I'll let Pastor Walker talk a little bit about that in the next video. And after that, we're going to go to Bishop Cooper, who's going to talk about what his congregation is doing to promote the census.
My name is Pastor David Walker. As a native New Mexican, I want to share with you how important it is that all New Mexicans, regardless of race, ethnic background, or nationality, be represented in this year's 2020 Census Report. For years, many African Americans have had a long history of thinking that the census is the way that the federal government spies and gathers information to be used against us. But let me assure you, that's not what the census is designed for. And how we respond in this moment will make all the difference in the billions of federal dollars the state of New Mexico receives to build better roads, schools, hospitals, and other public services that we enjoy on a daily basis. For those of you that are unaware, the census taken every 10 years determines the number of seats each state has in the United States Congress, as well as the House of Representatives, as well as our political representation on all levels of government. Required by the Constitution, the 2020 population not only guides how trillions of federal dollars are shared in the United States over the next 2 years, but it shapes how political power is dispersed as well as redistricting Congress in state and local boundaries. And I just believe as African Americans, we must understand that because we are undercounted, millions of these federal dollars are being diverted and withheld from state and local municipalities, as well as our communities, because too many of us refuse to take time to complete this simple census questionnaire. Here's an example. For years here in the state of New Mexico, the African American community has been reported as being only 3% of the state population. Well, in reality, this number may be inaccurate, which is another reason why we must understand that we are underrepresented. Brothers and sisters, we must understand Black communities deserve to be accurately represented so that lawmakers and businesses can make responsible decisions pertaining to demographics. As of today, only 50% of New Mexicans have responded. And I just believe that it's time that we stand up and be counted so that we might receive our fair share of tax dollars to help improve our parks, libraries, community centers, and schools in our own neighborhoods. A projected $6.2 trillion is on the line, which affects assistance programs in New Mexico, including Medicaid, SNAP benefits, highway planning and construction, housing, grant programs for early childhood education and special education. And I just believe, again, because of the potential of these funds, that you ought to be able to see the urgency is now. It's imperative that New Mexicans make sure that we are counted and represented. And I want to encourage you today not to let this opportunity pass you by. Take 10 minutes to complete the questionnaire. Be counted. Be represented. Your information and privacy is not only protected, but it's also secure, safe, and confidential. You can respond one of three ways. Online at 2020census.gov, by phone at 1-855-562-2020, or you can simply mail in this 2020 Census questionnaire you received in the mail. Again, be counted, be represented. Everyone counts. Okay.
God bless you, my friends. This is Bishop David C. Cooper of the New Hope Full Gospel Baptist Church of Albuquerque. Listen, I am convinced that this is a season where we need to be counted. So we are galvanizing all of our churches around the state to speak and to encourage and to promote Census Sunday. Every Sunday in every pulpit across this great state of New Mexico, we will be passing out information. There'll be information in our bulletins, information in our announcements. Our pastors are being encouraged to share the importance of census so that we can make sure that every person is counted. And so we're going to do that every Sunday in every African American church in this state. We're encouraging our Hispanic brothers of faith and our Native American brothers of faith and even our Anglo brothers of faith to make sure that we are all pushing Census Sunday every Sunday so that we will be counted.
All right. Thank you so much, Pastor Walker and Bishop Cooper. There's so much work happening with our churches. I'm just so excited to have them as a part of what we're doing. So we showed the response rates that there's still a large amount of New Mexicans that have not responded to the census. And so I took the liberty of doing my census on film so that everybody could feel comfortable enough to go online and complete the census. So we're going to roll me completing my census for the very first time. This is the first time I've had to do my census. And so I'm excited to share that with you now. Rogers, and I am the co-chair of the African American Complete Count Committee. And today I'm going to walk you through how to complete your census questionnaire online, even if you got the paper form at home. We're going to do it online today. So come on, let's do it. Looks like it's the big paper questionnaire that you can then fill out on the paper form. They've included an envelope so that you can return that securely to the census. You guys are following along with me, my first time completing my very own census. All right, so it says to go to my2020census.gov. Okay, start questionnaire. And it says, please log in, use the materials you were mailed. And the website is really user-friendly. I also noticed that at the top here, you can actually toggle between these languages right away on here. So you don't, won't need to actually have an interpreter. You can actually just click right on your language of choice. It's asking me to put in my 12-digit census ID. It's asking you if you're going to complete it for your address, so you're going to click yes. Are you living or still staying at that same address? I am. And then it wants you to put in your name. All right, cool. So that looks like that's like your introduction, demographic stuff. So now let's go into household questions. And I like how it gives you a toggle up here on where you are in the process so that you know. So including yourself, how many people were living or staying at your address on April 1st? Then we're gonna hit next. And then it wants me to list those folks that live with me. And then I'm gonna hit next. All right, and so it's asking now for relationships. For example, children related or unrelated, such as babies, grandchildren, foster children, nieces, nephews, cousins, all those people count. Everybody that lives in that household should be entered on there. Next is saying on April 1st, was this house, apartment, or mobile home owned by you or someone in the household with a mortgage or a loan, owned by someone that is free and clear, rented or occupied with rent. Next is going to be who owns the home, whose name's on that home. Now we're going to be answering people questions. So we start with the person that's answering the questions, which would be me. So we're gonna start there, and it's gonna ask for my sex. It's gonna ask for my date of birth. So then I'm gonna go next. Being someone like me that's mixed, I wanna be able to put all of my ethnic background in here and be accurately counted. It's gonna ask, are you Mexican, Mexican-American, Chicano? Are you not Hispanic or Latino or Spanish? Yes, you're Puerto Rican. Yes, you're Cuban. Or yes, you're another type of Hispanic, Latino, or Spanish origin. Here's the next one. Select one or more boxes and enter origins for the census. Hispanic origins are not races. For me, I am going to put Black African American. So again, they want you to enter, for example, African American, Jamaican, Haitian, Nigerian, and then a place for people to put other. If none of these options work for you, then you can actually type in how you identify. That was how simple it is. So here we go. So now it's asking relationship to me. All right, looks like that's all done. Now I have an option to go to the final question. So I'm on the final questions. We would like to make sure everyone is only counted once. None of the above live anywhere else. That's great. We're gonna keep going. All right, so now you can actually click submit to submit your census questionnaire. I could submit, and this is important. This submission, so important to be counted. Just as important as voting this year is completing your census so that you count. Okay, it says we're almost finished. Would you like to edit or would you like to submit? I'm confident we can submit. You get a little confirmation screen. Now, I highly suggest you save or print this screen. The reason is because the African American Complete Count Committee is giving some giveaways for folks that complete the census. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click that to save. Oh, look, it popped up here right in my folder as Census 2020. Now I want to go and enter into the census giveaway because I completed the census. So I'm going to go to wellstandfoundation.org and I'm going to click right at the top of the page here. You'll see census is April 1st. Complete your census and get a giveaway. So I'm going to click right on that giveaway there so that it can take me over to our page where you can actually enter and upload that census completion that you just finished. So you enter all your information here. You're going to add that file that you just saved, the Census 2020, right in there. And you'll be able to log on and be able to get that gift. All right, that's it. How exciting. I feel like I did my civic duty. I helped make sure that African Americans in this state of New Mexico count. You should do the same. Really wasn't that hard. Really simple. If you don't want to do online, that's okay. You can do the paper form and mail that in. There's even a number on here you can call and give your information over to a numerator. I suggest you do all that before someone knocks on your door and says, hey, did you complete that census? This is a way to avoid that. So complete your census and then sign up for the giveaway on wellstanfoundation.org. Thank you for joining me. Please, please fill out your census. All right, I'm over here cringing because I hate listening to myself or watching myself, but if I expect you to, I guess I better do the same. So that was how to complete your questionnaire online. So we, again, to avoid the enumerators coming to knock on your door, you're gonna wanna make sure you do it online or call in to do that. And that's actually a perfect segue into our next topic of enumerators. And so one of our strategies for the African American Complete Count Committee was to see how many of our committee members could get hired as actual enumerators with the Census Bureau. Back in January, we held a job fair and we had about 30 people come to apply. We had it at 3 different locations, so people could get to the location nearest to them to be able to apply. And I'm happy to report several of those folks were actually hired. I think it was close to 20 or 22 of them got hired, including me. I told you last time, remember, I told you that I would come knock on your door if you didn't do the census. Well, I really now have the tools to do that. So enumerators, we're gonna watch this quick video from the Census Bureau about enumerators, and then I'm gonna wrap it up a little bit with some information that I have hands-on because I am an enumerator. I have my census phone. I have my census mask to go out and count people. I have my notice of visits. These are the things we're leaving on your doors, and the ever recognizable census bag. So let's roll the video and see what the census wants you to know about enumerators, and we'll come back and talk about it.
Behind every 2020 census taker's mask is a friendly neighbor. They're teachers, retirees, vets, people committed to doing right by getting the count right. If you haven't responded yet, they'll be stopping by to ask some simple questions that will inform how billions in federal funds are spent on local services every year for the next decade. So when they come knocking, say hi from a safe distance and do your part to support your community. Time is running out. Shape your future. Start here at 2020census.gov.
Okay, so you saw that, right? The numerators are out in numbers. I mean, we have literally over 1,000 enumerators in the Bernalillo County area and all over New Mexico. There is still time, believe it or not, even though we have 28 days left to the count, they're still hiring enumerators. So you can go to jobs and look, literally just type in census jobs, go to the census's website and sign up. They're rapidly onboarding people because we still need more boots on the ground to go count people. Last time we looked in the international district, my team has been focusing on the international district. We had still 3,000 homes to cover just in the international district alone. So again, if you see enumerators out, we have our bags on us, we have our census badges on, we have our masks on, and we're out knocking on doors and just going through the neighborhoods and canvassing to make sure people complete the census. So please, if we knock on your door, be nice, open the door, answer the door, first of all, and just help us by finishing out that census. If you don't want us to knock, then that's okay too. Just go online and finish it online or over the phone. Now, I will be upfront. There will be quality control people that may call you after you complete it online and say, hey, we want to make sure this information is accurate. You may also get a call from a supervisor double checking my work after I've come visited you at home. So I can't promise it's the last time, but I promise that they're just calling to make sure I did my job by entering your information correctly, because it's super important that we capture how you want to be counted, not how anybody else wants you to count. It's about you and how you identify as far as your race and ethnicity. Another big point I want to point out about enumerators. If you are not comfortable giving that enumerator all of the information that's asked, like you saw on the questionnaire online, it's the same information we're asking at the door. If for some reason you don't want to do that, that's okay. You can tell the enumerator, I only want to give you how many people live in the house and what our race and ethnicity is. That is perfectly fine. We just need to get everybody counted. So again, if you see folks with their masks on, their census bags, their census approved phone, it has Census Bureau right on the back. The big screen has Census Bureau right on the front. So and our badges are how to identify census workers. And just like the commercial said, we are people like me who work full time but care about our community and are out there working to make sure we're all counted. So please, again, if you run into an enumerator, don't run away. I promise we're nice. We're just trying to make sure we count New Mexico. So again, enumerators are nice. Open the door. Let us know how many folks are living there so we can get the resources, the much needed resources here to our state for lots of different things. All right, I want to turn it over to one of our trusted messengers. This is Harold Pope. He is running in District 23. So this next election, this is another chance to have your voice heard, to vote for someone from our community, African-American community, Harold Pope.
I think people are worried and they're concerned sometimes that maybe we don't matter or we're such a low percentage that we don't count in New Mexico. But this is a way that we can kind of have our voice be counted and make sure that we're getting the proper resources that we need in this state. We count just as much as anyone else here.
Thank you so much. Again, Harold is a wonderful gentleman. He's done a lot of work in the community with March of Dimes, and he is running for Senate District 23 this November. So again, after the census, the next big push is voting. Big push is voting after census. So they go hand in hand. Census and voting is ways you can get involved and have your voice heard. So next, I'm super excited to go to a special guest that we have on live with us. And one of our major partners is Media Desk, and they've helped us with so many things, from outreach tools. They've helped us create postcards that go out in the mail. They've helped us create flyers for our town hall events. I mean, we could not have done this work from a marketing standpoint without Media Desk. So I am so excited to introduce Julissa Rodriguez from Media Desk, who's going to talk to us about amazing toolkits that they have available for you to use. And we'll put those in the chat, the link to them as well, because this is stuff you can go right now online and download and start using. Literally copy and paste stuff you can just use to get involved and get in the fight, because we need your help. That's what tonight's all about, is getting you up off the couch and engaged in the community. You could still do it from your couch. I think Julissa has some stuff that you can do it from your couch.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. So thank you, Julissa, for coming and visiting us tonight. And thank you for all your amazing work. We couldn't have done all of this without you.
Thank you, Nicole. And thanks for the introduction. So I work with Media Desk, and what I'm going to be sharing is our Census Ambassador Toolkit. We've created this toolkit with the prime goal of just outlining and having a couple materials in different ways that everyday people can get involved in the census and become a census ambassador. Because at this point, with a 55% self-response rate, we all know someone that's probably in our group of people that we work with or hang out with that still haven't completed their census. And so now it's also getting to the point where it's on us as well, not only to fill out our census, but encourage our friends, families, neighbors, people you work with to fill out your census as well. And if you are a trusted messenger to the people you hang out with. So this is why we created this Census Ambassador Toolkit. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Can you see it, Nicole? Okay, so this is our Census Ambassador Toolkit. We'll be sharing the link with everybody. It's a live document, so we make edits as needed, but here it is. And so basically what it is, we've outlined this first page with different subjects, I guess. If you're interested in healthcare, education, agriculture, human services, government, and those are the different, and we make those connections between how the census affects those sections. We also have a census ambassador checklist on page 2, which I will show you, and then some ambassador actions. And the great thing about this toolkit is that all the material we have is both in English and in Spanish. So you can share any of these materials. So the page that we think is one of the coolest is this checklist. And you can download it here as well. But basically we just outline a couple ways for you to get involved in the census really easily from your couch if you wanted to. Whether it's sending an email to everybody, we have a link to an email. If you send a lot of emails, you can also include a census email signature. We have social posts for you to share as well. Ways for you to reach out to your local complete count committee. And even if you don't want anything formal like an email, even just sending a text to your friends. And so all of these are super easy things that everybody can do that don't take a lot of time. So here are the asks. And then we have information linked everywhere. So if you're not familiar with the census, or you may just need like additional information, you would click here to get more information. If you're going to be, let's see, I think my Wi-Fi. If you're going to be writing an email to people you work with, or even just your friends or whoever's in your network, we draft the email for you here. And of course, you don't need to follow it word by word. You would be able to edit it and make changes as you see fit. We also have it in Spanish. So that's exciting. And like I said, like even a text. Send a text to a couple of your friends. Say, hey, did you fill out your census? You only have until September 30th. Go to this link and then ask them to share it with them as well. And so I think this is a great start for anybody to get involved in the census. And whether you've already filled out your census, maybe you've already told your friend, there's just a lot of ideas here for everybody to get started or do more, especially since we only have, like, what is it, 25 days for everybody to complete their census. So we hope this is helpful for everybody. Nicole will show you the link. And it's 11 pages long, but just a lot of information. And it's also really easy to navigate for anybody that's interested. So like I said, it's really just about sharing the right information and making sure everybody you love and that you socialize with is counted in their census as well. And Nicole, do you have any questions?
Yeah, I noticed something when you were scrolling there about writing an op-ed. Can you tell us and the viewers a little bit about how they can help with that?
Yeah, let's go look at it actually. Let's see. So what we do is we included this page right here, once it loads, on tips on how to write an op-ed to your local paper. And we're actually asking Nicole to help us write an op-ed because she has such a great voice and she knows her angle and her story, right? So what you do in writing an op-ed, like, I think it sounds scarier than it is, or writing a letter to your editor sounds scarier than it is. But once you have these little tips and we'll help you with all the information, because all the information is on here. Anybody can write a letter the editor or an op-ed, or just get something in their local newspaper. And especially with local newspapers that are looking for stories and want that local voice on a thing like such as the census, we think anybody can write it, and then it's a valuable thing. So what you would do is you would start with your angle. So yeah, the census is here, we all know about it, but why do you connect with it personally? What is it about the census that matters to you? And using that to really angle your story and pitch your story. That way your story isn't all about the data and and just about the data. You're actually telling a story when you're talking about the census, and that's how you really connect with people. And then you write it, and if you need more information, we have more information in the toolkit. And then the scary part, I would think, would be also pitching your story. So if you're in a small town or a small community, even just Googling what papers are in your area to find who to send it to, and then most of the time you just email it to the editor maybe, or whoever is linked on the website, and you ask them to run your story. And you can also do this for radio if you're comfortable speaking about the census. Go ahead and also do the radio. Why not? They might pick you up, want to talk to you for a couple minutes on why the census matters to you. But this is just an exciting and fun way to get involved in the census, and you can get published.
Yes, I love that idea. And we reached out to some of the young folks that were on our town hall in July. And I think one of them, Janelle's going to also write an op-ed for us. But if you're out there and you're like to write, or you want us to help you get this op-ed published, please you just go to Wellstand Foundation. You can email us at info@Wellstand Foundation. You can, send a shout out to iCountNM on their website. However you want to reach out to us, we're here and we can help you do what Jalissa just talked about, because this is a great opportunity to get your voice heard and to really help us spread the word right now about the census within the next 28 days. So if you're interested in that, reach out to us and we can partner you with Jalissa, who's amazing, and get you published. What? Who knew you could do that? It's pretty awesome. Jalissa, is there anything else that you think is really cool out there? Like maybe some social media posts, an example of like a social media post someone could use from your toolkit?
Yes, we do have some. Here they are. And the way it's set up is that we have recommended copy. So just like what the language that you would use when you post it, and then also the pictures that are the graphics that you can download. So we have some that are healthcare focused. We also have here, let the photos upload. If you're interested in how the census affects first responders, the environment, education, or even if you just want to copy or follow the copy that we use and the language that we use for your own influencing Instagram or something, a toolkit like that's just for social media, because we've been seeing a lot of really cute stories and a lot of really cute TikToks on the census, and we were so excited that we're actually creating another tool, and kind of I think to help people also talk about the census on their Instagram and TikTok. So we do have that coming. I think that will be linked on here as well. So once it's linked, do a fun little dance or something on your TikTok about the census and make it as engaging as possible. And those are the things that people share and people want to see. So yeah, we do have something coming exclusively for social media.
Awesome. Well, my 12-year-old daughter is all about TikTok. So I actually had her go into her TikTok and search Census 2020. And there are people already on there. And so now we just need to come up with a viral dance with a census song or something that can make everything go viral. That would be awesome.
We do. I agree.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Jalissa, for being on with us tonight. I'm so grateful for all your help. I think we email a lot of times a day or a week just to make sure we get everything going. But thank you so much for all your help. You've been amazing in helping us.
Thank you, Nicole. Thank you.
All right. Okay, I think we have another video coming up from a partner in Espanola, Rio Arriba County, doing the amazing Willie Williams over in Rio Arriba County which is in Espanola. So we're going to take a look at that now too. Let's see. Maybe I'm supposed to share and play that one. Let's see.
Hi, I'm Miss Willie Williams. I'm a community activist.
All right. Thank you so much, Willie. We're so excited to have your video and to have you participating in the census and making sure that we all count. It's super important for us to do that. All right, next up, we have some people coming on to that represent some of our African American Complete Count Committee. They'll be on in just a little bit. And so next we're gonna go, I think we have another video to go to and to talk about the census.
This isn't about today.
This is about the next 10 years.
Pero hoy tú puedes hacer algo.
And you can make a difference today by completing the census.
The census impacts everything from hospitals, schools, and public transportation.
It is more important than ever before that everyone's voice is heard.
The census builds America, so the census count should look like America.
Shape the future of Brooklyn,
Kansas City,
Tucson, Atlanta, Oregon,
Los Angeles,
DC.
Start here at 2020census.gov.
Miss Willie Williams. I'm a community activist in the city of Espanola, and I'm also the facilitator of the Black African American Student Organization at Northern New Mexico College. The 2020 census has launched a campaign in which you as citizens can be a very important part.
Be counted, because we need these resources now more than ever.
The federal government has cut the census completion data date by 30 days, which means now it's due September 30th, 2020. And that makes it difficult and hard for us to reach the most vulnerable during this hard pandemic time, which is the worst time in the history of this country.
Don't forget to be counted this year for this year's 2020 census. We need our New Mexican people to be counted, so that way we have funding for the next 10 years for our beautiful, wonderful state.
Right now, we've only collected 25% of the data. We need you to help us.
So I encourage everyone in you to do the 2020 census count, because this will help fund our schools, our fire departments, and our hospitals.
We really need you to help us. We need you to go to your local census office or contact 2020census.gov. We're looking forward to hearing from you. looking forward to hearing from you.
All right. Now that we had sound, thank you, Willie. So sorry about that. Technical difficulties before, but I'm glad we were able to replay that video from a wonderful community activist out in Espanola, working to make sure that we all count in the 2020 census. All right, so next we're going to talk about phone banking before the rest of our African American Complete Count Committee joins us. And so what I want to do is share my screen, and I'm going to show you how you can sign up to do phone banking. If you don't know what phone banking is, if you are actually making live calls to fellow New Mexicans to talk to them about doing the census and making sure that they count. So what you'll do if you want to sign up to do this, you're going to follow along with me, and we will help as well to make sure we support you in making sure you can do these calls and feel comfortable. So let me share my screen. We're going to go again back to Google, and I type in iCountNM. That's New Mexico's website for all things census in New Mexico. It's a wonderful website. That's where you can also find the toolkit under here. If you look at the top up here, you'll see toolkits. That is one of the things that Jalissa was just talking about. So this is where you can find it, icountnm.gov. And then the easiest way is you go right over here to this search little icon there, click that. There's a search that pops up, and look, phone banking. Type in phone banking and hit enter. That'll take you over to a little blurb about what phone banking is. And then we're going to go to volunteer login. You click on volunteer login. It takes you to another page where you enter your information in our ThruTalk system. Now, what's really cool about ThruTalk is it walks you through everything exactly so that you can see what to do and how to respond to whatever the caller that you're calling has as far as responses goes. So what you do is you put your name and information in here. Well, actually, we have a little video that we can share with you. This time I'm like sure to share my sound so that you can hear that as well. But this is a quick video about how our ThruTalk system works, so you can see just how simple it is for you to get involved when you're at home on the weekends and you want something to do. You can have some interactions with folks around New Mexico. We are targeting lots of different zip codes in New Mexico strategically based on their actual information. So let's take a look at that video now.
Welcome to ThruTalk. In order to make calls in ThruTalk, you'll need a laptop, desktop, or a tablet to see the script and a headset to talk. If you have a slow internet connection or don't have a headset, you can also use a phone to call into the system. When you're ready to make calls, start at the login page provided for you by the campaign. Enter your name, email, and phone number to claim the login. Copy and paste your new username and password into the boxes below. Click Next and select your service. If you're unsure about what service to select, ask your campaign contact. If you're using a phone to call in, uncheck the call using computer checkbox. Click Sign In. Now relax, as the system will start making calls for you using a campaign number and will show you this waiting screen while it dials. You'll hear a beep when a call is connected, and you should start speaking right away.
Hello, is Sam Wilson there?
That's me.
When you click on the script button, the script will change to show you the next thing to say. It's important to click through the buttons, even if you know the script, because they're tracked for each conversation. We're talking to the right person here, so we'll click on Talking to the Correct Person.
Hi Sam, my name is Enia. I'm a volunteer with the Candidate for State House campaign. Can we count on you to vote on November 6th?
Absolutely, I'd love to.
I'm so glad to hear that. We're getting down to the wire and every vote counts. Would you be interested in volunteering to help candidates campaign?
Totally, sign me up.
Thanks so much. I'll mark it down here and someone from the campaign will be in touch soon about opportunities to get involved. Thanks for your time and have a great afternoon.
When you're done with a call, click on Next Call on the left to move on to your next call. We talked to the voter here, so we'll click Next Call, Talk to Correct Person, and click Save to move on to the next call. When you're done making calls for the day, wait until the end of a call and select Not Ready before you click Save. Your screen will confirm you're no longer connected and you can close the window to log out. That's it. Have a great time making calls in ThruTalk.
All right. So that's a quick, again, the software is used for voting, for census. And what's really great about this is you'll also be able to transfer folks live to the Census Bureau. So when we're making calls, there's an option there for you to be able to actually transfer that call directly to the Census Bureau, and they'll take over from there, making sure that that person counts. So it's a great way to do a warm handoff from you directly to the Census Bureau to get them counted. And that's really exciting about this Through Talk system. So again, we're looking for phone bankers right now. I'm going to share, I'm going to take you to another website where you can go to sign up. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Again, you can Google Wellstand Foundation, and it'll take you over to Wellstand Foundation. And what you're going to do, let's just type in wellstandfoundation.org. .org if I can type. There we go. And that takes you into our website. From there, if you click on Census 2020, that's going to take you to our census page. And I talked about the giveaway a little bit earlier, where after you finish the census, you can actually do a little giveaway there. But if you scroll down, there is a little graphic about signing up to do phone banking. Okay, so you click right on sign up today and you can sign up. I will send you an email or a text with some instructions on how to get started. And you can go and get started using our specific script and transfer folks right to the Census Bureau to be counted. Again, this is a great way to reach people without having to leave your home. I did some census calls yesterday live during a training, and we actually successfully transferred a couple of people over to the Census Bureau to get counted. A lot of people just said, oh, you know, it slipped my mind. I do want to do that. Great. If you have time now, I'm going to get you over and we'll get that taken. You can cross that off your to-do list. So again, phone banking. Remember, this show is all about a call to action. So we're calling you to act. That means we need you to get up and do something to help us make sure New Mexico is counted. So phone banking is one way that you can do that. Log on whenever you have time, log off when you're done, and you can do this several times for us between now and September 30th. Another amazing thing that's going to be happening with phones is we are going to be working with Media Desk and the state's Complete Count Committee, Complete Count Commission, along with a lot of other Complete Count committees like Dr. Nancy Lopez and Kieran Cochran from UNM, to do a big live phone-a-thon where you can watch on KOAT, you can listen on the radio and dial in to make sure that we can help get counted. And again, big deal is that you go and get counted so that we can make sure we're doing what we need to do. All right, so again, wellstandfoundation.org, you click right on Census 2020. This is the same place you can go for the giveaway, sign up for phone banking. Hey, and if you scroll down, you'll see some more of our town halls. All of our previous town halls are here all the way back to May 7th. We also have the information about all the different giveaways, our outreach plan, some of our features on the news, as well as our mail out postcards featuring Deb Holland and other trusted messengers here in our state. Oh, there's a video from Deb Holland as well that she was so gracious to record for us. And I think we have some time. We can check that out while we're waiting for our Complete Count Committee to log on to join us.
My name is Deb Holland. I'm the Congresswoman for New Mexico's 1st District. Our communities need the money. We absolutely need to answer the census so that we're counted properly, and the funding that we get from the federal government will come to the communities because we need it.
I love it. Short, sweet, straight to the point, because we need it. And that's absolutely correct. We need the funding, we need the information, we need the resources to our community. All right, I think we have another video to show before we go to our complete count committee members who are going to come and share their final urges before the deadline on what they can do to complete the census, to urge people to get out and complete that census.
This isn't about today.
This is about the next 10 years.
Pero hoy tú puedes hacer algo.
And you can make a difference today by completing the census.
The census impacts everything from hospitals, schools, and public transportation.
It is more important than ever before that everyone's voice is heard.
The census builds America, so the census count should look like America.
Shape the future of Brooklyn,
Kansas City,
Tucson, Atlanta, Oregon,
Los Angeles,
DC.
Start here at 2020census.gov.
All right. So many amazing videos that the census has produced. We have a plethora of things. You can actually go to mycensus2020.gov to fill out your census online. If you just Google census, you'll be able to come up and see all of those amazing items on the toolkit. All right, I see some of our complete count committee is on live with us. So I think even though we're a little early on our schedule, thank you for being early. I think we're just going to start with some of them that are online here. And so we've had some amazing partners working with us to make sure that African Americans in New Mexico count. And so the first person that I want to go to is the amazing Dr. Azada Sarai from UNM's Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. She's been such from the beginning, just an amazing partner. Because of COVID, we haven't had an opportunity to meet in person, but I cannot wait to go have some happy hour with the team after this is all over so that we can get rolling. We also have another amazing UNM person, Brandy Stone, the director of Afro-American Student Services. Sorry, I messed that up, but Student Services, better known as Afro. And that is a place I remember even when I was on UNM's campus as being a safe place for African Americans to be, to make sure we get plugged in and utilize all the resources that are available to them within the university. So I know a lot of folks know all about Afro. So I'm really excited to have Brandy. And then the absolutely incomparable, amazing Pamela Herndon. I always say I want to be like her when I grow up. Pamela Herndon. That woman is the hardest working woman in Albuquerque and has lended her time, her valuable time, to working with us on our committee. So ladies, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for coming on early. I know we're a little early in our program, but I'm so glad that we can spend some time with you. So this is the last one we have before the September 30th deadline. Dr. Zerai, what would you say to somebody who's maybe on the fence and I don't know if I should care about filling out the census? What would you say to them to push them over the edge to just doing it?
Well, I'm not sure what I would say to push them over the edge, but I can definitely talk about my own motivations. In New Mexico, too often in the year that I've lived here, I've heard that the African American population is quote unquote insignificant. And those are painful words for us to hear. We are extremely significant. Our history goes back before even the start of the state of New Mexico. And we want to make sure to leave that legacy that indeed, yes, we are here. Not only that, but a complete count is really important in order that we have appropriate resources set aside for health and especially for the health of our children and our families. Unfortunately, the infant mortality rate is very high among African Americans in New Mexico and throughout the United States. And so for us to have accurate information about that, we really need to start with knowing how many African American citizens we have here. We also need to know the degree to which we need to provide resources for healthy aging. And so we know that's another aspect of New Mexico, that we have a larger aging population here relative to other states. And so we want to make sure those resources are set aside for our African American folks that are aging. Also, educational resources, very near and dear to my heart. We want to make sure that we have enough of those set aside for our communities. So for those of us that are working in equity and diversity, enhanced inclusion in our educational institutions requires resources. And so we want to make sure that we have enough to pay our teachers so that our children are supported and are able to come to higher ed institutions such as UNM. Cultivating the genius of our communities requires resources. We need for everyone to be counted in order to garner those resources to aid our efforts to contribute to a well-rounded, culturally responsive workforce that will drive economic development in New Mexico.
Wow, I couldn't have said it any better myself. Like, and I didn't even make, I work at UNM Hospital, and that's one of the things that I've been pushing my institution to research is infant mortality rate here in New Mexico. And I'll be honest, the liability is steep for the hospitals, right? So there is also a reason to underreport or to not report those things. And I found out in some of that research that hospitals can actually say that something is a pregnancy is a miscarriage up to like 30 weeks, which we all know as women having babies that they tell us we're clear for miscarriages after the first trimester, right? We should be fine. But then when it comes to documenting that, they push that back and call it a miscarriage, which means something's wrong with us, not that they missed something. Right. And I was reading also African American women have a vitamin K deficiency during pregnancy that's often missed, that is also can contribute to those things. So I would love to partner some more on this after all this census work, because that is something that is just not okay, that our women, and it doesn't matter, right, your social economic status.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Right. We learned that with Beyonce and Serena, or was it Serena Williams?
Yep.
Yeah. So socioeconomic or famous people even struggle with the same types of things of people not listening to us say what's wrong with our bodies. And so I'm so glad that you tied that link to the census, because I didn't even think about that.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I need experts like you all, because it makes it just so amazing that to me, it was like, whoa, that connection. So thank you so much for that. And thank you for your work and your time helping us with this committee. It's been a pleasure working with you.
Well, thank you. We really appreciate your leadership.
Thank you. I learned from all of you. So thank you. All right, next let's go over to Ms. Pamela Herndon, who's going to talk to us. And I'm sure she has a powerful reasons why people need to complete the census as we near 26 days, 27 days left, Pamela? Oh, I think you're muted still.
That's about right, Nicole. Just about 27 more days, and then we have to look at the data that we've collected. So you are absolutely correct. And so if I were looking at how I would motivate somebody, the first thing that I remember is a song that says, I believe that children are our future. Treat them well and let them lead the way. Well, the only way they can lead the way is for us to make sure that we have left resources here for them to lead the way. And just recently, there was a Wallet Hub presentation that talked about where our children are with respect to other children throughout the country. And in New Mexico, we are at the bottom of the list, but we don't have to be there anymore, because what we can do is get counted and make sure that more resources are coming to our city and to our state to make sure that children are taken care of. And ways that we can do that: a child should never go hungry. And the census funds can be used to help make sure that there are lunches available for children, that there are grab and go meals for the weekends when they're not in school. And during the summer, there is a food pantry for the entire family to make sure that they are able to eat. And what we also want to do is we want to make sure that they are healthy 100%. And the only way we can do that is make sure that we have enough medical resources to take care of them. So did you know that, for example, the census dollars, we look at the rate of data, and it is matched dollar per dollar by the federal government to the amount of expenditures that we use in the state of New Mexico for Medicaid to help our low income and moderate income individuals have access to health care. So if there's ever another pandemic that occurs, you know what? We have the resources right here to take care of it. And we want to make sure we have the clinics, and we want to ensure that we make sure that there are enough health services available. But let me tell you the one I like the most, and better, not better than the children, but if we look at the fact that there are 435 individuals that can sit in Congress at any time, and it's based on the number of people that are counted. Right here in New Mexico, we only have 3 people that are sitting in the House of Representatives. But what, Nicole, what if we were counted accurately and we had 12 people sitting in the House of Representatives representing our voices right there in Washington, D.C.? And I want everybody to know that it absolutely can happen if you get counted in the census. And there's nothing stronger than making sure our voices are heard, not only on the state level, but at the federal level. So Nicole, do it for the children, do it for the House of Representatives, do it to make sure our voices are counted.
I love it. I didn't think I could get any more excited than I already am, but that did it. You were absolutely right. And I love that you tied that to Congress, because we can't afford to lose a congressional seat, right? We can't lose a Deb Haaland. That would be catastrophic to our state, to lose a seat. Or so gaining a seat, that's even better. So I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that with us tonight. All right, next we're gonna go over to Brandy Stone, again, African American Student Services from UNM, and who's been an amazing partner, not only just helping us reach students, but helping us reach the Divine Nine, which our president just made famous, by the way, the Divine Nine. I was so like, really? But at the same time, I was like, ooh, now everybody's gonna be Googling the Divine Nine to figure out what it is. So thank you, Mr. President, because I think that backfired on you. I think now more people know, and more people are gonna join one of those organizations and pledge because you brought some light to it. So without further ado, let's go over to Brandy Stone. How are you, Brandy?
Hi, Nicole. Thank you so much for including us. It is extremely difficult to follow after 2 like giants who just shared everything. So I'm going to keep mine short and sweet. And so what we're telling students across the state at all of our institutions is one of the most effective ways that you can participate in some social activism is to do some civic engagement and complete your census for the next 10 years. So I just hope that you all will take that message and share it to all of our 18 to 24-year-olds.
Yes, and I think that's I want to talk to a little bit about this year. A lot of people don't know that Census did something a little different with students, and they actually asked higher ed institutions to not only send data for the students that live on campus, but they asked for the data for students that don't live on campus as well. And so I know, Brandy, you probably are aware of what the college decided. Can you talk to the folks about what UNM decided about sending information of students to the federal government for the census?
I actually can't share that, but maybe Dr. Zurai can. I'm sorry that I wasn't privy to that conversation.
No worries. Sorry about that. Tell me, Dr. Zerai, what came of that?
So we did send the information in terms of the students that were living on campus as of April 1st. However, for students living off campus, we felt that that was really not appropriate. Many of our students who live off campus are heads of household, and so they would have filled out the census anyway. In fact, I believe it was the majority of our students living off campus are heads of household. And we also, of course, have undocumented students. And so we really wanted to protect what we call the directory information of our students. So there are FERPA rules in terms of providing home addresses and phone numbers and all that kind of information from students' grades, et cetera, from our students to the general public. And so because of those FERPA rules, we really are extremely careful with who we share that information with. And, you know, unfortunately, due to the political times and the ways that various aspects of the government have been weaponized against people of color, we just really did not want to be involved with that.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And I think that it's important. That's why I wanted to talk to us about that, because I don't think people realize that happened, and that I'm just so proud of you and Em for stepping up and protecting students' information, and really just putting the ownership on the students that, like you said, are head of household that are going to be completing their census anyway, that they do that information and share what information they're comfortable with sharing. So thank you for your leadership in that, and thank you for explaining how that works for us, because I don't think a lot of people realize that. And so we're grateful for that. All right, so next we're going to go to Dr. Teresa Neely. She is over in library studies at UNM. And I'm sorry, I always get this wrong. So correct me, Dr. Neely. I know that you're tenured faculty. I know that much.
That's true. That's true.
You explained the difference for me one time.
So yeah, I am a professor in the College and University Libraries and Learning Sciences. And my job title is Assessment Librarian and Special Assistant to the Dean for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion.
Wonderful. Yay. Well, we're so excited to have you, and you've been a wonderful part of our team, making sure we document things correctly and make sure so that we have a good suppository of the things that we did for the people taking up the torch in 2030, right? Like what worked, what didn't work. We want to leave that type of legacy, and you have been really integral in helping us do that. So Dr. Neely, what would you tell people to urge them to do the census? We have 28 more days. It's down to the wire. What would you say to people?
I would urge people to start thinking about what's important to them and what their lives are like. I would ask questions like, do you have a car and do you drive? Do you want your car to not get jacked up because of roads? Do you have school age kids? Do you want good schools and good roads and good facilities and hospital, all of the things that we need to get through this life in this world are kind of tied to that massive federal funding. And we all know that it's nearly $4,000 per person per year for 10 years that we would lose if households do not fill out the census. And so, and it's particularly important for folks of color because a lot of us live in multi-generational homes. And we need to make sure that the resources and services that are around us, close to our neighborhoods, that we don't have food deserts and all these things. That's another way that the census helps and supports our communities. So.
That's awesome. And I know that you've been out enumerating too, is that right?
Well, not yet. I missed the training in Santa Fe. And so I didn't get trained till last week, last Saturday or so. So I'm about to get out there and I'm excited about it. Yeah.
Yay. Well, that was I was telling the folks that are watching, that was a major intervention for us early on. And you helped us host a job fair there at Zimmerman Library. And we had several people go and apply that did get hired. And so that has been, I think that's going to help us set us apart from other teams, because our team can actually get the boots on the ground with our Census phones.
Oh, wait, hold on. It's right here.
Yeah.
It's across the room, so.
Go out and knock on doors.
I think it's really important that we reach out to folks in our communities, folks who look like us, folks who trust us, and to bring more into the conversation about the importance of the census. So.
Yes, that is key. And I think that's what I'm excited about too, is all the giveaway stuff, because of course, pre-COVID, we had bought all this giveaway stuff because we were going to have these big major community events, and then poof, COVID happened and we couldn't do those things. So the things that we're giving out for the giveaway, I'm actually like when I go to houses and they complete their census, I say thank you, and I give them one of our little hand sanitizers there, because we have a bunch of hand sanitizers.
Okay, well, you're gonna have to ship me some, or I'm gonna have to come pick some up.
Yes.
Yeah.
It says African American Complete Count Committee on there with the census website. We have our new census masks that came in. I'm not sure if you can see that. It says Get Counted.
So because mine are all white, so
that's cool. We'll get you some of those. We have the census t-shirts.
Yeah.
Oh man, those amazing Everyone Counts t-shirts with all of our partner logos on them that have been, I've seen all over the place. I actually was looking at an HSC news story. Oh yeah, look at that.
My son is an enumerator too.
Hi.
Hey.
That's awesome.
Look at my census phone. See, so what an amazing, that I'm telling you, that really is going to set us apart, because we can actually get out there. And a funny story, and I hope my enumerator supervisor is not watching, but I'm going to tell this story anyways, because it was funny. So part of the census process is if we go to a house 3 times and we can't reach anybody, we're able to get a proxy, what they call a proxy, which means we ask your neighbor, hey, neighbor, do you know who lives there? How many people live there? Do you know their race and ethnicity? So I had a Caucasian gentleman open the door, and I was asking him about the neighbor. And he said, yeah, I think there's only one woman and her daughter, or her son, that lives there. She's Hispanic. He looks black, but let's put Hispanic. And I said, oh, no, sir. You said you think he looks black. And he said, yeah. I said, well, then that's what we should put, not what you think. What does he, what do you think the world sees him as? And he goes, oh, well, then he's black. He was trying to get me to put him down as Hispanic. I was like, oh, no, not today. He is black. He is black. So that doesn't mean enumerators are picking for you. I must make that disclaimer. Numerators do not get to choose for you.
Let's be clear, they used to. They used to. When you're looking at the census back in the 1860s, they used to just, yes. So.
Yes, so it was just an eye-opening experience, wait a minute. So your neighbor could decide for you what you are?
That's crazy.
You don't want that to happen?
Yeah.
So do it yourself. How about that? Don't let the fate of how you count be dependent on a proxy. Get in there, do it online, call on the phone and do it, because we cannot have that. We can't have somebody else choosing what you are. You have to do that. Don't leave it up to a proxy. And I don't like proxies. I'm always like, oh, proxy came up. Okay. I'd rather get it directly from the person. So it looks like we're all on the screen now, and I'm going to see if Brandy wants to come back on. And Alan, I was joking with him today that I'd like him to unhide himself from the Oz screen. I call him our great Oz. He has been amazing in working to help us make sure all of us are on point for these town halls, making sure we look good, making sure we sound good. And is he on? Is he there? There he is. Everybody give Alan a big round of applause. You can unmute yourselves and really clap, and not the virtual clap. I mean, I guess we could virtually clap too.
You can do it. We can clap.
Yay, yeah. I want to hear the sound of the clap. Because without Alan, I just cannot say enough about how amazing Alan has been in helping us make sure that we look good and that we're doing what we need to be doing. See, like right now, he's already like, what's that sound? What's happening? And fixing it on the back end. So Alan, I want to capture your voice. I know you don't like being on, you like being in the back, but tell us what do you want people to know about the census?
Oh man, it's really gonna put me on the spot. I'm actually so I have video going on one end and then audio from a different device, so that way I'm not getting echo. But I would say it's like from being involved in this whole process, it's really just kind of actually for each person just kind of filling it out. And even being from the back end, I learned a lot about the census, way more than I thought I would ever need. So just being part of that process really kind of opened my eyes about how important it really is to complete the census. And that actually made me complete the census myself. And so it's like I learned from the whole experience, and I hope the viewers out there kind of get the same impression as I did, and kind of motivate them to complete their census.
Awesome. Well, Alan, I can't say enough about all the help. Alan has done all the filming for all of the Trusted Messenger videos. He's done some amazing portraits for us. I have to pull up, because Beverly Jordan couldn't join us tonight, I have to share her amazing photos that Alan did for her, because this is our co-chair, the amazing Beverly Jordan from the Office of African American Affairs. And I'm so sad she couldn't be here with us tonight, but I at least wanted the viewers to be able to see her beautiful face, because she is a mover and a shaker in the Black community. And I could not have done any of this without her and the relationships that she has in the community with our faith-based, with our Divine Nine, with municipalities. And I mean, she's been meeting with everybody across the state and really just a huge champion for us. So everybody, let's give Beverly Jordan also a big round of unmuted applause, because she deserves absolutely so much credit for helping us make sure that we reach not just Albuquerque, but we reach Hobbs, Clovis, Alamogordo, Roswell, Rio Rancho, all the places that the data told us African Americans live. She helped us reach. We could not have done that across the whole state without the Office of African American Affairs and Beverly Jordan. So if you're watching, thank you.
It's a true collaborative effort.
Yeah, it really has been. It really has been. And at the end, Alan's going to put up a slide of all of our collaborators. I mean, I'm telling you, it's been amazing to have all of your partnerships, because without that, I mean, and then let's be honest, somebody said, how did you reach people? It's you guys. I'm not plugged in the Black community with the sororities. I'm not a member of the sororities. I'm not a member of a church. So the Black churches were like, who are you? Right? Like that's how our community works. I wasn't in the military, world with our Air Force bases. So without all of you, I would not have been able to reach. Our complete count committee would have not been able to reach the segments of the Black community that needed to be reached without you all.
But I need you to understand that without your organizing and keeping us on point, this would not have been possible. Don't just give it to us. You were leading the way along with Beverly. So let's be real clear about that.
Well, thank you. I don't like talking about myself, so I don't do that. But I appreciate that, because I'm just so passionate about making sure African Americans can thrive in this state, not just survive, but really thrive. And what is it that we need to do that? And the first step is being counted. So I think that's the big one. I know we're at our time, but the last thing that I want to have you ladies maybe just really quickly, the next hurdle after the census is voting.
Voting, early voting.
Yes, early
voting by mail, and voting by mail is absolutely fine. Don't believe the hype, don't believe the lies. Voting by mail is absolutely fine.
Yes, Pamela, any final thoughts on voting?
I do. I want you to, I just want one person from every single high school throughout the state of New Mexico to take the lead and to be the captain of Vote America, for lack of another word, but get everybody in your high school registered to vote, because you make up 19% of the population that we have not been able to account for. So please, get all your friends together and have a voter registration party on September 22nd, which is National Voter Registration Day.
Can we make that a virtual party? Because we want our kids to be safe.
Absolutely. We can make it a virtual party, get together, and Nicole will provide the music with the help of Alan Stone.
Oh, look at Alan. He's like, oh man, I thought this was the last one. Nope. We still got work to do, guys. We still got work to do. Awesome.
And then we still have to work after voting. We need to be thinking about COVID the whole time as well. So
I agree. Thank you for that. Because the recovery, right, and us, how do we make sure to support our community after all of this is super important. So thank you. And I think my 3-year-old son loved that because he said, go. All right. Dr. Zerai, Brandy, any final thoughts before we go to the amazing Dee Brown for some amazing entertainment? We had him at Juneteenth, so you're going to see a little bit of the footage from our Juneteenth that we had just in June, and it was so powerful. Our community needed this. I saw, I stepped back and kind of watched how the crowd was interacting with each other. And there was this little boy with his dad, and he looked up and he saw these two big, beautiful Black men just hugging and embracing for like a long time. And he perceived them as gangsters, but he told his dad, hey, Dad, I'd never seen two gangsters hug like that. Like, I never seen them hug like that. And they're hugging for a long time, Dad. They must be happy. And this is so amazing to see people just hugging, and there was no fighting, and everybody was just so excited and happy to be together celebrating our independence. So before we do that, before we see that footage, any last thoughts?
Just thank you again for bringing us together, all that you've done. And I think you need a big hand that is not muted.
Thank you guys so much. Brandy?
I will just add, since you said our next step is voting, if you are a UNM or a New Mexico State University student, or if you are an alumni of one of those institutions, we will be hosting a Battle of the I-25 Black Voting Challenge. So we will drop a hashtag soon so we can count who from what institution is registering to vote and voting. And we at the University of New Mexico, of course, want to win. So we will be sending that out to both of our constituencies, but I hope that you will engage with us on that.
Yes, that's awesome. And you said that that's happening soon?
Yes.
All right. So we'll make sure to post information about that and get that out to all of our viewers so that we can make sure that UNM wins, because I'm competitive too. So I want to see us win that for sure. One other thing that I want to share before we go to our final slides and our amazing Dee Brown is there's also a giveaway happening at UNM. And so I'm going to real quick share my screen so that you guys can see that. So again, giveaways, there is a lot of giveaways. These are incentives for you to be completing the census. UNM is giving out $50 gift cards. They have 200 of them available, and there's ways that you can enter. So all of the things Jalissa talked about today, where you can do a social media post or send an email. If you do that, you're going to get $50. You are actually you're going to entered for a chance to win $50, and it's a gift card. So you can go, the raffle closes September 30th. We'll notify all of the winners in October, but please, please, please go in and join. All you have to do is tag 5 to 10 people on a social media post, encourage them to fill out their census, and then email that to unmsc@unm.edu. And you can encourage folks to do that and possibly win a $50 gift card. Every little bit helps. So that's another amazing giveaway from the UNM Complete Count Committee, which a lot of us are a part of, in addition to the African American Complete Count Committee. So again, you can get some cool swag from us with our giveaway: hand sanitizer, pens, masks, and a t-shirt. But hey, this one's $50. So go in, try for both of them, get both of the giveaways. So that way you can count and also put some money in your pocket. Why not? Right? All right. Well, thank you so much to all my guests. Thank you so much, Alan Stone. Thank you, Brandy. Thank you, Dr. Neely, Dr. Zarai, Pamela. You've been amazing and just a great, I've learned so much working with you. And just thank you all so very much. Let's go to our ending slides and then we'll have some fun with some Dee Brown from Juneteenth. All right. So again, this is a virtual questionnaire assistance that we're doing tonight. So what you can do if you want help going to online and actually completing that census, you can do that. Here are all of our amazing partners. We have, of course, all of the organizations that were on tonight: MLK Commission, First Stone Productions, which is Alan Stone's company. You can go to his website and hire him for more work because he's amazing. Faith in Public Life. There's so many. APS, all kinds of different partners that we're working with that we are so grateful to have. And then again, if you want to do that giveaway for the swag, for the census t-shirts that we have, census hand sanitizer, just go to wellstandfoundation.org, enter for that. And make sure you do the UNM giveaway too that we just talked about. Thank you so much for joining us over the last couple months. We started our first one with Pamela Hernan as our moderator in May and Deb Holland. And we are just closing it out this month saying, please, please, we have 27 days. Complete your census today. Be counted. And now the amazing Dee Brown from Juneteenth 2020.
On for a little bit. Can I get this monitor closer? Party people! Let's go, let's go! You walk around this town with your head all up in the sky. I do know that I want you. Come on, let's dance and let's shout, shout. Shake your body down to the ground. Let's dance and let's shout, shout. Shake your body down to the ground. Let's dance, let's shout, shout. Shake your body down to the ground. Let's dance, let's shout. Come on, shake your body down to the ground. Come on. You see me with your loving to play hard to get, and I do know that I love it. You walk around this town with your head all up in the sky. I do know that I want you. Come on, let's dance, let's shout, shout. Shake your body down to the ground. Let's dance, let's shout, shout. Shake your body down to the ground. Let's dance, let's shout, shout. Shake your body down to the ground. Let's dance, let's shout. Shake your body down to the ground. Come on, y'all. inside of me. And I do know that I love it. I need to do just something to get closer to your soul. I do know that I want you. Let's shout, shout. Yeah. Shake your body down to the ground. Let's dance, dance. Let's shout, shout. Shake your body down to the ground. Let's dance, dance. Let's shout, shout. Shake your body down to the ground. Let's dance, dance. Let's shout, shout. Come on, Kush. Shake your body down to the ground. Y'all having a good time out there? Shout, shout. Shake your body down to the ground. Let's dance. Let's shout, shout. Shake your body down to the ground. Let's dance. Let's shout, shout. Shake your body down to the ground. Let's dance. Let's shout. Shake your body down to the ground. Let's dance. Let's shout. Shake your body down to the ground. Let's dance. Let's shout. Shake your body down to the ground. Let's dance. Let's shout. Shake your body down to the Can you give me some more in the monitor too? Everywhere, a little bit more the vocal over there. Who? Laporta. You got it? All right, we got more for you. I'm gonna introduce my good friend and colleague, Mr. Andrew Cooper. Y'all do it. No, don't stop. Hey. Mr. Andrew Cooper, y'all give him a hand and show him some love. Come on, party people. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. Do you remember the 21st night of September? Come on, clap like this. I was changing the minds of pretenders while chasing the cloud away. I know you know our hearts were ringing and the keys out of souls singing as we danced through the night. Remember how we knew love was here to stay. Come on. Body, y'all. Come on, y'all. Say, do you remember? Body, y'all. Dancing in September. Body, y'all. Never was a cloudy day. Come on, party. Ba-do-dum, 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 ba-body, yeah. My heart is with you, holding hands with your heart to see you. Only blue talking love, remember how the stars hold the night away. Now December held the love that we shared in September. Only blue talking love, remember true love is here to stay. Come on. Dancing in September. Body, What's up, Albuquerque? Come on, Steve. Black is beautiful. We're gonna do an original song. It's called Good Time. We're all out here for a reason. We're trying to stay in the movement, trying to work towards change. This is an original song, and it basically says, we gotta do the work. We gotta stay present. But when the weekend comes, we're gonna have a good time. Y'all ready to have a good time? I need a little bit more mic right here. I need a little bit more mic. Come on, let's dance. Listen, you gotta stay woke. Yeah. Come on, girl. Cause if you think that they ain't scheming, then keep dreaming. No, we can't stay broke. No. So we gonna have to look out for each other. You're my sister, I'm your brother. There's always work to do. Sometimes we get weary, but we gon' keep on pressing till we're through. Until the work is done. But when the weekend comes, we gon' have a good time. Come on, y'all. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. We gon' have a good time. We gon' have a good time. Now come on, dance. Yeah. Forget about your cares and worries, let your head down. Come on, dance. A little more mic if I can. Yeah. Forget about your cares and worries, let your bring it down. If you look around, you will see all the reasons we still got to stay happy. Go, go. I got you, y'all know you got me. You got me. And together we gon' set this whole world free. There's always work to do. Sometimes we get weary, but we gon' keep on pressing till we're through. Until the work is done. When the weekend comes, we gon' have a good time. Come on. All right. We gon' have a good time. Party people. Good time. Now come on, dance. When you hear that sound. Yeah. Forget about your cares and worries that you have. Come on, dance. Everybody has to dance for when you hear that sound. Yeah. Forget about your cares and worries. Sing it again. Come on, dance. Dance for when you hear that sound. Forget about your cares and worries, let your hair down. Come on, dance. Everybody hit the dance floor when you hear that sound. Forget about your cares and worries. 1, 2, 3, get down. Oh yeah. Now it's time for you to get funky. Listen, if you want to have a good time, I need you. I need you to get on up. Get up. Get down. Get down. Oh. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, let's go. We gonna have a good time. Come on. Party people. Wait a minute now. Here we go. Oh yeah. Come on. We gonna have a good time. Make some noise, Albuquerque! Keep going, keep going, keep going. We're gonna do another original song. It's called Can't Turn. And just like the energy that we have right now, we're working and we're doing our thing, but we can't give up. We gotta see this thing to the end. Y'all hear me? We gotta see this thing to the end. We can't turn around. Here we go, we'll come right in. Last night, thought I lost my way. I saw headlights shining on my face. And I knew I was headed the wrong way. Would I get to see another day, oh Lord, oh Lord. But that light wasn't meant to make me pass. It was just illuminate my path. And now I see, so I can't turn around. I'll walk through that door, reaching out for more. No, I can't turn around. I'll stay on my course till I see the shore. No, I won't turn around. Keep on moving forward. I won't turn around. No. Keep on moving forward. I spend so much time in my own way. I work so hard trying just to fall on my face. But I can't walk away from destiny. It's more than a feeling it's meant to be. So much more. And I can't know this. Seems like the time to take that risk and soar. I soar, so I can't turn around. I'll walk through that door, reaching out for more. No, I can't turn around. I'll stay on my course till I see the shore. No, I won't turn around. Keep on moving forward. No, I won't turn around. No. Keep on moving, moving, moving. Got too much to do, far too much to say. We're gonna make it one way or keep on. Now I won't turn around. No. I'ma keep on moving forward. I won't turn. Keep on moving, moving, moving. Oh, I won't turn around. You can't turn around. We need you. We need you. We need you. So I won't turn around. Bring it down there. Now I need you guys to agree with me here, because it's gonna take all of us. I want you to say after me. Say, I won't turn around. I won't turn around. I won't turn around. Now I won't turn around. I won't turn around. I won't turn around. I won't turn. Keep on moving forward. I won't turn around. Oh, no, no, no. Oh, I won't turn around. No, keep on moving forward. I won't turn around.